Hello, all. Good evening. So we're going to learn about Excel today, and the lesson the topic we are going to cover today is cell references and range names. Okay, so we'll learn how to we will learn what is a cell reference and how to name a range. So we already learned about range. Now we're going to learn about how to use those ranges and how to uh, how to give a special name for it and how to reference it to the names. Okay, so we'll learn it one by one. So cell reference, a cell reference refers to a cell or a range of cells on a worksheet and can be used in a formula so that Microsoft Office Excel can find the values or data that you want that formula to calculate. In one or several formulas, you can use a cell reference to refer to data uh, from one or more contiguous cells on the worksheet. Data contained in different areas of worksheet, data on other worksheets in the same network. So what is a cell reference? A cell reference to a cell of range of cells. So what is a cell? Cell reference is you can refer a cell. See, how do you reference a cell? So here they mentioned, right? You can refer a cell or a range of cells using a name. Okay, so that's called a cell reference. So is equal to cell to refer C. We are seeing some examples here. So here in the formula we have mentioned C2. So that means the C2 refers to the cell C2. So the value in the cell C2. So it returns the value in the cell C2, which means whenever you do this thing, right, it will always return the value in the cell C2. Okay. Here it refers the cell A1 through F4. The values in all the cells, but you must press Ctrl Shift Enter after you type in a formula. This function doesn't work in Excel for the web. Okay. So here also we are referencing a range, a group of cells. Okay. So A1 to F4. So this is one cell reference. So here also we are referencing a cell. See here we are doing asset minus liability. So asset is the name of a cell. So we have named a cell which is let's say there is a cell C2, and we can name it with our own name. So that is called asset and or a liability. So we can name it whatever name you want. We can name it asset, liability, week, day, month, anything we want. Okay, so we can change the name cell reference through a name. So we'll learn about how to rename a cell reference later. Okay, and then there are is equal to week 1 plus week 2. The cell range is named week 1 plus week 2. So we have named a cell range with the name, with our own name, with our own custom name, which is week 1 and week 2. And then sheet 2 B2. So we are referring to a cell on a particular sheet. Okay, so we have given the sheet name first and separated by a colon, sorry, exclamatory mark, and then we are given the cell thing. So this here we are referencing to a cell in another sheet. Okay, so this is how you do it. So these are some examples, and we'll maybe you guys won't understand now, but we'll learn it later. Okay, I mean we'll learn it by examples later. So types of reference, cell references. So there are two types of cell references: relative and absolute. So relative and absolute references behave differently when copied and filled to other cells. So whenever you copy the whole reference, right, it differs in a different way. Okay, so relative reference change when a formula is copied to another cell. So relative reference, right, whenever you copy a formula or use a fill handle, right, it changes the actual formula changes. Okay, so absolute reference on the other hand remain constant no matter where they are copied. Okay, so let's see an example with this. Okay, so here we're going to learn about relative reference. Okay, so here in the sheet, we have menu item, unit price, quantity, and line total here. So by default, all the cell references are relative references. So whenever by default, right, it's always cell reference. Okay, so when copied across multiple cells, they change based on the relative positions of rows and columns. For example, A1 plus B1 from row 1 to row 2, the formula will become A2 to B2. The cell reference are especially convenient whenever you need to repeat the same calculation across multiple rows and columns. Okay, so let's see this with an example. Okay, so let's take this example. See, let's say there are different shopping items. Okay, so we are menu. Okay, price, unit price and quantity. Okay, so unit price. See, let's say we are buying bananas. Let's say 1 kg of banana, and the price is let's say $5. Okay. So next we are going to buy apples. We are buying 2 kgs, and it's cost $6. Let's say we are buying papaya. We are buying 3 kgs, and the price is $2. Okay. So now we have to find the total here. Okay. So what is the formula to find the total? So we are buying 1 kg, which is $5. So per kg is $5. This one quantity per kg. See, this one is per kg. Okay. So here it's apples are per kg $6. So here papaya per kg is $2. Okay. So what is the total of each item? So we have to multiply 1 into 5, 2 into 6, and 3 into 2. So what is the formula to do that? So it's equal to, so first we have to give the cell reference of unit banana unit price, right? Which is B2. B2 into
C2.
Okay, C2. Okay. So now if you see the formula, right, it is B2 into C2. So now what you're going to do is you're going to copy this formula to all the apples and papaya, right? So we don't have to type anything like B3 into C3. We don't have to copy this, right? So we just have to copy. We don't have to write it on our own. So we have to copy. So we used to do fill handle, right? So when you do this, right, it automatically copies all the formula to the next cells. Okay, but if you see the formula here, right, we copy it from this cell, but it is which is B2 to C2. But whenever you copy it to the next row, right, it automatically adjusts its values, right? It becomes B3 and C3, and the last record becomes B4 to C4, right?
Yes. Yeah, right.
So this is called this is a what do you say? Yeah, this is a relative reference, right? Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's say let's say with the same so now we can do the addition here. So we can add it like sum of using range we can give. How do you calculate do the range? So we can select this, right? So this is the range D2 to D5. This is the range. Okay. Now we can find the addition of this what happened? Okay, so we have to give up to D4, right? Sorry. So now we have found the total here, right? So is this clear? Okay, what is the difference between how do we cell reference? So this one is clear, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this is a relative reference. Okay. So here we know when we copy the formula using the fill handle, right? We know the automatically the formula changed. For each row, the formula changes. So it will become B2 to C2, and then it becomes B3 into C3, and then it becomes B4 into C4. But the actual formula we copied is from B2 to C2. So this is a relative reference. Okay. So let's see with another example. So to create and copy references, you just have to use a fill handle. So just now say, instead of creating new formula for each row, we can create a single formula in cell D4 and then copy it. We'll use relative reference. So the formula calculates the total for each item correctly. See, that's what we just saw, right? The formula is applied to the next rows automatically. So we don't have to do anything. Excel is intelligent enough to do that automatically. Okay. So select the cell from the E2. In our cell example, we'll select D4 and enter the formula to calculate the desired value. In our example, we'll type B4 into C4. So we saw this example already. And then what we did is we use a fill handle to copy the formula to the subsequent records. Okay. So we selected the fill handle and pulled it like this, and we apply the we apply the formula to every cell. Okay. So press enter keyboard, then formula will be calculated and the result will be displayed in the cell. Locate the fill handle in the bottom right corner of the desired cell. In our example, we'll locate the fill handle for cell D4. Click and drag the fill handle over the cells you want to fill in our example. So we'll select D5 to D13. So in our example, we had only 3 things. So we selected from here and we just pulled it over up to D4. Just we have to pull it up to this record because we don't have enough items. Okay. So then we use the cell reference to calculate the value. So then we had the addition and also we found the answer here. So release a mouse and the formula will be copied to the selected cell with related reference displaying the result in each cell. You can double click the fill cells to check the formulas for accuracy. The relative cell references should be different for each cell depending on the rows. So this point you understand, right? The relative cell references should be different for each cell. So the cell reference, right? Every cell reference is different, right? Here we have B2 and C2. Here we have B2, B3 and C3 and B4 and C4. So for every record, the cell reference is different. Okay. So now we are going to learn about absolute references. Okay. So what is an absolute reference? Unlike relative references, absolute reference did not change when the copied or filled. Okay. So that is called an absolute reference. So you can use an absolute reference to keep a row or column constant. So we don't want to change the records here when we do it, right? B3, C3, and everything is changed again and again, right? For every record, there is a there is a change value of the reference, right? So, but whenever you want to have the constant value, right? Then we need an absolute reference. So absolute reference does not change when you copy or use the fill handle to copy the formula to other rows. Okay. So and absolute reference, okay, absolute reference can be applied to a row or a column or both. Okay. So here you can see in this example. So how do you apply a absolute reference? You can use the dollar symbol to do an absolute reference. So A into $A before the cell reference, right? Before the column name or the row name, you can use the dollar symbol here. So here both the column and the row is an absolute reference. So because we have applied a dollar symbol both before the row name and also the before the column name and also the row name. But here we applied the absolute reference for the row alone. So we applied before $2 only. And the column does not change when copied. So here we are applied the absolute reference for the column here. So the column alone does not change. So here both the column and the row does not change. Here the row does not change. Here the column does not change. So this is an absolute reference. So now you know how to create an absolute reference. But so do you understand what is an absolute reference, right? So we'll learn that by an example. Okay. So we'll enhance the existing example. Okay. So already we calculated the sum of our items here. Okay. So in the example below, we are going to use a cell E2 to which contains the tax rate. Okay. So whatever we buy, right, we always have a tax rate. Right? We always pay taxes for every item, and the tax rate is common across items, right? So for Singapore, I don't know, $7, I think. Okay. So for the tax rate always remains constant. So it does not change based on the items we buy, right? So it's a constant tax rate. Okay. Select the cell in which so now we are going to add the tax and calculate the formula here. So I'm going to insert a record here, and I'll say tax. Okay. So tax is let's say 6%. Okay. So now for every item we buy, right, we have to apply the tax for that item, right? Am I right? So tax rate. So if I buy this item, right, so I have to apply the tax rate also here. Okay. Let's say a total before tax. Okay. And then we'll say let's say price. Okay. Price before tax and price after tax here. Okay. So now we have to create an absolute reference for this cell because let's say we have to find the formula, right? It's equal to so B2 star C2 to so what's the tax rate? So where do we have the taxes here? What is the reference of the tax here? Can you tell me what is the reference of tax here? D D1, right?
P1.
Yeah, okay, D1.
G.
So
T1.
D1, I think D1 divided by 100, right? Oh, sorry. Here it's B3, right? Elements B3 into C3, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
E.
Because we and D1. Okay. So tax is 5 into 5, which is 30, yeah, into 60, right? Formula here. B4 and C4 into $E, $2. Okay, so we are given the percentage here. See, after tax, we are getting B3 to C3. So now we understand the formula here. So first we are calculating the tax here. And then we have to add it, multiply with this cell, right? So it becomes after tax, it becomes 5.3. So actual price of item is 5, and actual tax it becomes 5.3. So now let's say I copy this formula. So now we understand this formula, right? First we are calculating the total value and price, right? So now let's say if I copy this formula down, right? We are having an error here. So what is wrong here? Can you someone tell me? Angavin or Hossein, can you answer me why it's wrong here? See, we have to multiply with the tax rate here. Okay, but what did we multiply here?
D, sir, D1. D1 need to whatever.
Value of D2. So in D2, that it is not a number, so it is wrong. Okay, but what is the formula that should be applied here? What should be the corrective formula when we want to correct the tax rate? It should refer to D1, right? Hossein, Angavin, D1, right? Not D2, right?
D2, sir. D2 ko no naman. D2
No,
no
D1.
naman.
Yeah, D2 is wrong, right? We have to refer to D1, right? That's why the tax rate is
Yeah.
present, right?
Yeah.
So I have to change into D1, okay?
One.
And here it is reference to D3, but actually where should we refer it? The tax rate.
D1. Let's change the D1.
Let's change D1, but we just copy the whole formula, right? We just use the fill handle to copy this formula. See, if I do this right, if I do this again, right, you again will have an error. Second record is error because it is referring to this cell. So to make sure that this error does not happen, what should we do? We have to apply the absolute reference, right? So where do we have to where do you have to apply the absolute reference in this formula here? See, what only the tax rate should not be changed, okay? But other items can change. B3, C3 values can change. B3 and C3 values can change. But the tax rate is always D1, right? It is a particular cell. So where do we have to apply the absolute reference here? Here, right? Dollar D, $1. Correct? Correct, right? So now if I copy the formula downstairs, right? See here, it is still referencing to D1 and D1. D1,
Yes,
D1, right? Okay, here also it's again referring to D1. See what is the change we did? Last time, what did we miss? And this time, what did we miss? Because we didn't apply the absolute reference. So it was referring to the next cell. So it was incrementing its values, right? So whenever you would copy the formula using the fill handle, using the drag and drop, right? When you did that, when you did this, it changed the formula here. See, $1. So if I remove dollar, right? If I remove dollar,
that's why the you said dollar.
okay. So if you use this, right, it will have a value. So see here the values change. See, it becomes D2 and this one becomes D3. So not to change the value, we have to apply the absolute reference, right? So is absolute reference clear for you guys? So absolute reference clear for Angevin or Hossein?
Some D1 into D6.
Sorry.
Oh, no. Wrong.
Sorry, you did not understand or what?
Nothing, sir. I wrong really. Wrong answer.
Okay, so you want to explain me again? I'll explain you. So this is very important. Okay, absolute reference. Okay. See, again, you see, there are two types of references. Okay, absolute reference and relative reference. Okay. So let's say if I do, if I have something here. Okay, let's say if I have a formula, B2, let's say G2 plus F2 here. Okay, there's nothing in G2 plus F2, but I'll just drag it down up to here. Okay, so now you can see the formula here. It is G2 plus F2. This one becomes G3 plus F3, G4 plus F4, and this one becomes G4 plus G5 plus F5. So this one becomes G plus X6. Okay, so now for both the records, the value, the record name changes when it drag it down. The formula changes. Okay, let's say if I use the same formula, right, G2 plus F2 instead of G2 plus F2, if I do dollar G plus dollar G2 plus dollar F2. Okay, so now if I copy the formula down, right, what happens? You understood what happened?
G2 plus F3.
See, everywhere it's still see, if I do this right, see here, one second. See here, with the formula change here. With the formula change here. See here the formula changes. Okay, so here we are starting with G2 plus F2. Here we are starting with dollar G plus dollar G, $2 plus $F, $2. Okay, here it's G2 to F2. But when I do a drag here, right, it incremented every value, right? G3, G, F4, F5, G6, F6, G7, F7. So value increases. But here when you do an absolute reference, right, when you add the dollar symbol, so the formula doesn't change for every record. See, for all the records, the formula is same, right? Hang on.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
Hussein, you understand? Hussein?
Oh, sorry. Sir, cannot, this one I cannot get, sir.
Okay.
I forget all this.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
You understand this thing, banana? How did we calculate the price before tax? Up to price before tax. B3 to F3, B5 to F5. So here we are using the fill handle, right? When I do this, right, when I drag this down, right, it automatically changes the values for values. Here, if you see, it becomes B3 C3, then it becomes B4 C4, then it becomes B5 C5. We didn't type it manually, but it automatically adjusted the each of the row values. So it change the row values, right? Here you can see, right? It changed to B4 C4.
Yes, sir.
It automatically changes as well. So here, whenever in the next records, all the values changes. So the row number or cell reference changes. Okay. So this is a relative reference. So whenever we copy the formula using the fill handle, the value changes. Okay. So this is a relative reference. So up to this clear? Clear? Hussein?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now see here the apples and bananas, it all costs different. So all in a separate record, so the value will change. Okay. So but let's say if I have the let's insert a new record. Okay. I'll put the tax here. Okay. So I want to calculate the tax on this every item. So for every item you have to pay a tax, right? Was it?
Yeah.
And the tax will be common
Yes,
for
sir.
all the items, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for all the items, the tax is 6% only. Okay. So let's say if I want to calculate the tax on 5 rupees, right? So it is equal to this cell. What is this cell? D. Hussein.
Yes, sir.
D. What is this cell?
D3.
Okay, D3 into tax. How much is tax? What is the reference of tax?
D1.
Yeah. So D1. Okay. So now we have found the tax on this item. Okay. For 5 rupees of $5 of tax, 6% is 0.3, right? Calculated. Right?
Yes, sir.
So when I drag this down, right? When I copy the formula to the next rows, so you see an error here. Why?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Because
Why?
then before 1 unit, now 2 unit difference, sir.
Yeah, 2, that is that's not a number. Okay, here it is price before tax, D2. Okay, but what instead of D2, what value should we need here?
So need to $1 at
Dollar. Yeah.
G1.
Yeah, D1 we need. Okay. But it changed automatically D2. But we don't want to do that when you copy that. So for that, what should we do? We don't want to change the value before when we do the copy. We need an absolute reference for it. Okay. So absolute reference doesn't change the value here. So what should I change here before I do the copy? Okay.
so add the $1.
Okay. $1 alone is enough. So if you put $1 enough. Okay,
Then,
let's see what happens. If I copy down, right? It becomes
yeah.
0.72.
Yeah.
Is it correct? I don't think it's correct. See, 6% of, okay, it's correct. Okay, D1. Okay, 0.36. Yeah, correct. Okay. What is $D1? Dollar D1. Okay. So dollar. If you put dollar also, it will give the same value. Okay, so it is referred to the same cell, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the formula. So then we are on addition, we can find 5.3, 12.72, and 6.3. So this is the total price. So this is the use of a dollar symbol. Okay. So you can whenever you copy the formula, it doesn't increment the value. Okay. So you got this? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So yeah. So next, how about others? You guys joined late, right? Dinesh and Pachamoto. You guys understood it? Obviously.
Okay, sir. Carry on. I have to take leave 5 minutes break.
Yeah. Okay. Go on. To reference cells across worksheets, locate the cell you want to reference. And please note it's option. Example, you want to cell reference E14. Okay, so you want to cell reference E14 on the menu order worksheet. Okay, so there is another worksheet. So we are going to learn about how to reference cells across worksheets. Okay, in a different sheet we are going to reference cell. Okay, so here we have a menu order. The total price of the menu order is $578. But we have to refer in another sheet. Okay, so So let's say, so the total price of the item is $24.38. Okay, so we have another sheet. Okay, so we have a sheet say say service. Okay, service description price. Okay, so let's say we are having another service. Okay, so let's say transport. Okay, this one we don't need. So transport, let's say we want $43. Okay, and for music, it will say $56, $67, and for groceries, right? We already calculated the grocery values in another sheet, right? So grocery, we have already spent so much of money here. So it is $24.38 for grocery item. So how do you refer this value in the other sheet? Okay. So let's see how to do that. So the first we have to give the sheet name. Okay. Sheet 1 colon exclamatory mark, and we have to give the sheet name E. I think it's F6. Give F6, right? Is equal to. So it will give the same value in 24.3, it is here. So let's say if I add, if I change the value something, right? If I buy 3 kgs here, the value becomes 27.56 here. And also in the sheet, right, it becomes 27.56. So this is how you refer a value in another sheet in the same Excel file. So this you guys understood? To reference cells across worksheets. Understood?
Change sheet one again. Can you show me change sheet? Change sheet.
Yeah.
Copy 1, 2, 2. Yes.
See the cell, we have to keep the value there. Okay, so it is in F6, right?
Yes, sir.
The F6. Okay, so but the sheet name is sheet 1. Okay, but we want to reference the value in the sheet 2, another sheet, totally different sheet, right? So what you have to do? So we have to give the sheet name first.
Sheet
Okay,
1.
sheet 1 and exclamatory mark and F6. So that will give the value in the other sheet, 27.5. Okay.
Oh, sir. All right, sir. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
it's same, but all you have to do is you have to add the sheet name in before when you reference to another sheet. That's it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's say if I change the sheet name, right? Sheet name to something else. Let's say menu, right? Now you can see, right? Automatically changes the name to menu here, right? Before it was sheet 1, and we changed the menu, and it automatically changes here. Okay, so this is how it changes. So the sheet name could be anything. So, but all you have to do is you have to give the correct sheet name here to the reference cell. Okay.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is how you reference the sheet. So then next thing, error message. In a worksheet name incorrectly, the reference error will appear in the cell. In our example below, we mistake the name of the worksheet. To edit, ignore and investigate the error, click the error button beside the cell and choose an option for the menu. So let's say the menu. So we have given the menu name wrongly. Okay, so we given the sheet name wrong. See, it says a reference error, right? What you have to do is we have to find the error here. So what you have to do is click this drop down here and edit the formula bar. Click on it, and we have to go to the name here. That's it. So change the name and you will get the correct value here. So that's what they told us. Okay, edit the formula bar. So we have to change the appropriate sheet name. So the sheet name is wrong, right? If I give sheet 1, right? It it will say reference error here because the sheet one does not exist. Okay, so that's how you correct it. So if there is an error, you go to the formula bar here and change the name again here. So it is menu, right? Menu. So now you will get the value here. So this is how you solve if there are any errors. Okay. Then we are going to talk about named ranges here. So instead of using the cell reference, you can simply use the name that you assign to it. In this data sheet, if you have a refer to the range that has date, you will have to use A2 to A11 in formula. Similarly, sales rep sales, you will have to use B2, B11 here. See, there is a range of cells. So there is a group of cells, right? We can give a name to the particular range. So date one, date. So sales rep, we can give a name here, and sales we can give a name here. Okay. So let's do this example. So name ranges I'll tell you later. So let's do this exercise now. Okay. So there is a sheet. Okay. Where we have where we are doing some work. So we are doing all the repair here. Okay. And so we are charging $30 per hour here. So now we have to calculate the given the hours, you have to calculate the total amount spent here, 90, 30, and everything you have to auto calculate here. Can you do this example, Anguvin? You understood what I'm saying? So we have given the rate of work per hour. So per hour, how much do we charge? We given here, and the hours we are given here. Now we have to calculate the total here. So is this clear, Anguvin? Can you do this?
Yes, sir. I try.
Okay, Hussein also.
Sir.
So if you don't understand the example, right, just let me know, Hussein or Arvind. If you don't understand this example, you can ask me. If you have any doubts in the question, okay. So it's 7:26 now, and we'll meet by 7:40. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
So I'll give you some.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I continue? You guys do it after class.
Okay. All right, sir. All right,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. So listen now. Okay. So
Okay,
now we're going to learn about how to give a name to all the ranges. Okay. Create a copy information. Reference. Okay. So we're going to learn how to name a range. Okay. So let's say there is a range of cells, and we want to give a name to it. Okay. So let's say there's a sheet, and we have some dates. Okay. So we have a range of dates. Then we have names here. Okay. So we have a range of, and we have sales, some random numbers. Okay. Sales per year or something. Okay. See, I can give a name to these ranges. Okay, so if I want to add a name, right, I can do it. So I can select this thing, the whole thing here, and use define name. Okay. Okay, so under formulas, right? So go to formulas here. Okay, so select all these things, go to formulas, and here there's a function called define name, other define names. Okay, so click on it and say define name here. So here you can see, right, it has given the sheet name, sheet 3, and absolute reference $A1 to $A7. So it has marked these things. Okay. So we can give a name as date here. Click OK, and that's it. So it will have a name. Here you can see the name changes. Okay. And for this also we can give a range here. So for this it's C1 now, and we can go to formulas and we can say sales sales done. We can say sales done. Okay. Click OK. We can do. So we to add all these sales done, right? We can do a formula here. So what is the formula? Can someone tell me? Sum of C1 to C7, right?
7.
C7, which is 5524. But I don't want to use this. Okay, I want to use the name we created for this particular range, right? C1 to C1, we gave a name. You remember, right? What is the name for that? Sum of what is the name for the range? Sales
Joy,
done, right?
Joy.
No, sales done, right?
Yes, sir.
We gave a name to sales done, right? See, we
Done.
got the same answer here.
Done.
C1 to C7, but it is sales done, right?
Sir, again, sir.
Need to see.
I'll define. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a name for this range. Okay, it is
Formula name.
For this cell, right? I'm going to define a name. Give a name for this range. So, or a group of records range, right? We call it a range C1 to C7. Okay, which is mentioned here, $C, $1 to $C, $7. I'm going to give a special name for it, okay, which is say sales per year. Sales per year, okay. Okay, I'm going to click OK. So now, if I want to find the addition of all these records, right? Usually, what we'll do, we will usually give
some say same formula as G
C1
C2 C7.
Yeah, C1 colon C7 will give, right? For range.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the addition is C5524. Okay. Yeah. But there is another way to do it. Okay. So sum of we gave a name range. Right? No, sales. We gave sales per year, right?
Yes, sir.
We created a name, right? We can use that name, right? Instead of that range.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to do that. Okay. Sum of sales per year. Okay. I'm going to give sales per year. Bracket. So now we get the same addition value because we are given a name to the particular range and it calculated the same thing. So is that clear, Hussein and Angal?
Yes, sir.
See, yes. Okay, so yes. all we did is instead of typing C1 to C7, we gave a name, okay, which is sales per year. Okay, so nothing we did, right? So this is this refers to this one, okay? So nothing. So we give a name, nothing else. We give a name to this one, and we refer it here, okay? Sales per year. So that's it. So this is how you name a range, okay? Got it?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay. So for similarly, we can give a range for this one also. How do we create? Go to formula, then define name.
Find the name.
And we can say names. Sales rep. Okay. These are all sales representatives, right? You can just say sales rep. Okay. Yes. Click OK. So now, if I want to do a concatenation or something, right? Concat.
Okay.
Oh, there is no concat. Okay, concat. So I can say sales rep.
See rep.
Sales rep.
See rep.
See, all the names are concatenated. Joe, John, everything is concatenated. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So if I give a space, right, I think it goes space. Okay. How do I concatenate? Okay. So, but all the names are you get it right. Okay. I combined all the names here. Okay. I do. So this is how we can do it. So this is how we can use references. Okay. So you got the Sanjavan and Hussein. What is the cell
Yes, sir.
range? So see, same thing we can do. So you can do say concat of what to say B1 to B7.
B7.
So you give the same result. So we
Yes, sir.
change just the name here. So we just give a name to the range, nothing else. So and we use the range to refer the values. Okay. So this is how you create ranges.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So we just found one type of creating a defined name. Okay. So defining name can be done many ways. Okay. So method one. So we just saw this, right? In the new name dialog box, type the name you used to assign. So we get the name here. You can space the scope of the entire OP or specific worksheet. See, let's say if I want to give the name to another reference, right? Let's say if I want to add this thing, there is a sales ref, right? See, there is already a sales per year. Okay. Go to apply names. Go to sales per sales done. Click OK. Find name. Okay. So see, there is something called scope and workbook here. Okay. For see, workbook means it refers to all the whole worksheet. Okay. But if you want to apply this only for a certain if you want to access only for a certain sheet, let's say if I want to access only for sheet 3, right? You cannot use that in this. See, you cannot use this here. Okay. So if I go to is equal to sheet, they do sum of sheet sheet 3, this one, and sales per year. You cannot refer this in another sheet. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. So if I give some see, we have sales done, sales per year, sales rep we have. Okay, but did we see? Do you see dates? Date we have. Okay, so we have all the sales names here. Okay, sales per year, sales rep. Okay. Let's say if I create another defined name and say sales 1. Okay, sales 1, but I say only for the menu sheet. Okay, not for the entire Excel sheet, but only for a particular worksheet which is menu here. Okay, so if I click menu and click OK, and if I see do is equal to sales, do I see sales 1 here? Sales 1 is not here, right? Angavin and Hussein, you understand?
Yes, sir.
So, but if I go to menu, right?
Yes, sir.
If I do sales 1, right? You can see
Sales.
sales 1 here, right?
Yes, sir.
But it was not applicable. It was not shown here. Why?
Where, sir? See.
Sales 1 is not here. But if I
Yes.
go to menu, this menu, right? Do I
Yes.
see sales 1? I see sales on, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Because so she name given a different.
Because yeah. So when we created the worksheet, when we created the name, right? We selected only one worksheet, okay, not the entire workbook, okay. Very good, Angu. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So this is how you control your access of your names in different worksheets, okay.
Yes.
And yeah, so this is the scope. This is called a scope, okay. And this you guys know cell reference, how the reference is selected, okay. So it is automatically created whenever you create define name, right? So this is that thing, okay. Method 2, how to create a name box using the name box, okay. We used to go to formulas and create names, okay, but we can do it here itself, okay. Here you can see sales done, right? Instead of that, I can give Robert sales here, okay. If I do this and press enter, it is created. That's it. So you can see Robert sales here. See, it's easily created, right? Sum of Robert sales. Right, you get 524 here. See, this is another way of creating a name for a range. Okay, got it? Just a different way. So I just have to select this. I just have to select this and change the name here. That's it. I can just type something. I can just say Angowin. Angowin. And it will create a name for a range directly. So we don't have to go to define here and all these things. Okay, so I can just say Angowin and it will be there. Okay. So this is another way of creating a name range. Okay. Okay. So there is the method 3, create from selection. If you want to quickly create 3 name ranges, then you can use the method. Select the entire data, including the headers. Go to formulas, create from selection, and create names from selection. Okay. So let's say there is a sheet, right? Here we can. Okay, let's create another. Okay. So let's say there is a menu. There is a menu, unit price, and the total. Okay. So let's say there is banana, apple. Okay, banana unit price is 2. Apple. Let's say it's unit price is $3, and papaya. Okay, papaya is $4. The total, let's say total is we are buying 4 kgs. Okay, unit price. Bought. Let's say bought is 2 kgs, 3 kgs, and 4 kgs, and then we get B2 star C2, right? Okay. See, I want to create from a range. Okay, so what I do is I select all these things. Okay, select whole record. I click create from selection. See, I say create names from values. Okay, so now I don't want to type the value names here. So menu, unit price, bought, total, and all these I don't want to type, right? I just select top row, click OK, and now you can see 4 records will be created. So is equal to menu. The menu is automatically created, right?
Yes,
Unit price. Unit price is created. Then we have bought also will be created. Okay. So here, what did you understand? We don't have to give the names for those values. So from when you do create from selection, right? We don't have to give a name using this thing. Okay. So it automatically creates the names from the top bar here. Okay. So we can do another thing also. Create from selection. We can use a left column, bottom row, right column. All these things we can go. So if I do left column, right? Yes. So if I give the next one, the name, what will be the column names of the ranges here? I did only left column. What are the 4 names that will be available? Menu, banana, apple, and papaya, right? It will be
Yes.
there will be a menu, apple,
And B.
banana, and papaya, because we created the names with the left row. Okay. Whenever we select this, right, we have to choose whether we have to get we have to select the names the top row or the left column or both we can do. So bottom row also we can do. So let's say if I have something in the bottom, right? Let's say if I do this right, if I want to create menu, unit price, bot, and total, so I create from selection. I choose bottom row. Okay. So now all the names will be created from the bottom row here. Menu, unit price, and bot and total will be created, right?
Yeah.
So still we will have bot and all these things. Okay. So let's say if I do sum of bot, you will get the total 12, 3, 4, 5, and 12. Okay. Sum of unit price will be 3 and 4, right? Equal to sum of unit price. Unit price is sum of unit price. Is equal to 9. Okay, so this is how you reference other columns. Okay, this is another way of creating the thing. Okay, so method 3, create from a selection option. So we create. So we just saw all these examples, right? What is the left? How do we create the names? Where do we select the names from? Okay, so top, left, and bottom or right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So in the third, also getting names from the all the name ranges. So use in formula. Okay. Here are the steps to get a list of the name ranges you created. Go to the formulas tab in the define names. Click the use in formula and click paste names. This will give a list of all the name ranges that work group. Okay. So let's say if we create a lot of names, right? So if you want to find all those names, we all these things are here. See, this is all we created, right? Unit price, total, sales rep, apple, banana, and all this we created, right? So this is the all the worksheets here. Okay. So if you want to apply the formula, right, is equal to sum of. If I want to do use in formula, I can go here. I can just say Robert sales here. I can click this, and it will be applied there, right? Now you can get the total value here. So instead of typing and finding, right, we can do it. You can do it from there also. Instead of selecting from here, we can go here, and we can say sales done. Close the bracket and it is done. Okay. So this is another way of using the. This is another way of creating the formulas here. Okay. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then we are going to edit the ranges here. Okay. So let's say there is already a lot of names we created, right? So we want to change the names of all these ranges. I don't like the names. Okay. So go to name manager here. Click on it. You can see all the names here, right? All the names are created here. So you can see the scope of all the sheets, and also the cell it refers to, all the cells, and also the values here you can see, right? I want to delete something, I can do it. Okay, I don't want, let's say I don't want the name Angowin, I can delete it. Click on delete it. It will go from there. So if I close it and choose Ango, if I find Angowin, right, it will be there. Okay. Okay. So similar to that, similar to that, I can do a lot of things here. Okay. Okay, so this is one thing. So then what else can we do here? We can go to name manager, and we can edit an existing set. So let's say sales done, right? I can go to sales done, I can change the name if I want. Okay, I can just say change the name. I can change the cell values also. I can say C9 here, and also I will click OK. If you see, right, the name will be changed. Okay, sales name change. You can see the new name here. Okay, you can change the name here, and we can use that to refer to the cell. Right? Angavin, here, Angavin and Hussein. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right, sir.
Okay, so then what else can we do? Let's see. So then we have how to edit names. So we saw just how to edit names, right? We can edit the name also. We can change the cell. We can edit the cell references also, right? So then the useful shortcuts. Okay, here are some useful keyboard shortcuts that will come handy when you are working with names. So F3 to get a sales range. Okay, so if I go to here, right, if I type something is equal to sum of if I type F3, right, there is a key there, F3, shift F3 or control F3. I can use a shortcut also to find the cell references. Okay, you can use function F3 seems. So function F3. See, all the values are. If I function F3, right, from the keyboard, you'll get all the names here. I can use it here. So I can select any one or whichever I want. I can select sales per year. Click OK. The name will be applied here. So instead of getting from use in formula, you can use the shortcut key here. So I can type. I can press F3, and I can get the list of the names here. Okay. So this is another. Okay, so then we can do Control F3 to create a new name range. We can press Control F3. So what we can do is I can just press Control F3 instead of this thing. So I can select it and press Control F3. I can just click New, and I can give a name now. Okay. Shortcut control. Okay. So I can use this to create a new name here. Okay. So this is another shortcut. Okay. So you can use these shortcuts to create a name. So Control Shift T, create name ranges from selection. So name range from selection, create from selection, right? You can press Control F3. So I can just choose. What is the shortcut? Control Shift F3. See, I didn't create from selection. I just pressed Control Shift and F3. You get that menu, and you can choose one area visuals and create a range here. Okay, so this is how you can use shortcuts. Then apart from that, we have our homework. Okay, so calculate the spending in different currency. The currencies they should be referred from another cell. You guys got this? So we have a family member holiday spending Malaysia and India trip. Okay, we have a family member. We have the Singapore dollars. How much dad spent on something on Singapore dollars? Now we have to convert it to Indian currency. Okay, so currency rate is given here. So it changes, right? It will be 54, 55, anything. So the currency rate is given here. And now also you have to calculate Malaysian ringgits, and also you have to find the total spending here. For dad spent $300, he spent so you have to convert to Indian dollars and also Malaysian ringgits, and you have to find the currency rate here. So you understood the homework now, Angavin and
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it's similar to the exercise. Okay, so there we had only tax rate. Here we are going to do the currency rate. Okay, now you have to find the total.
Okay, sir.
That's it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this will be a homework, guys. Okay, so please do a homework and attend your classes regularly. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Sir, next month at that 12, are you going back Bangladesh.
Oh, next month you won't be able to attend the classes, huh?
I try. I go back Bangladesh. I will try from Bangladesh.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah,
So 1 month
continue
rest.
task. Keeping.
Okay. 1 month rest start. Good. You traveling. Huh? Okay. Enjoy your
Yes,
time
sir.
in vacation. Okay.
I resigned from this company, sir.
Oh, you're going back, huh? So what are you
Yeah.
going to do? When will you come back here?
I don't know, sir, how long.
Okay, so you're going to find another job from your from there itself. Huh? You what is your plan?
Yeah.
Coming back to Singapore
My
or
plan is, sir, occupation. I try to sense driver plus safety coordinator. I don't know how.
okay, yeah, I think you'll get it. No problem. You should be fine, I guess. So yeah,
Yes, sir.
concentrate on your skills. Okay, so you try to improve your skills, not only computer skills. Okay, so you are try to understand whatever certification, right? Safety and all these things you got to learn, right? Try to get certifications
Yeah.
for it, and you improve your skills, then you will get a job easily. Okay, so the higher your
Yeah.
skills are, you easier to get a job. Okay, learn.
Yeah.
Okay, that will be good for you. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay.